I'd like you to close your eyes and imagine the following scenario. You're walking down the street and you see someone you know on the other side. You smile and wave at them, but they just keep walking without responding at all. Now, how do you feel? Well, the way you feel in this situation will depend a lot on your thoughts. If you think, "What's the matter? Why is she ignoring me? Have I done something to upset her?" Then you might start feeling anxious or worried. Or if you think, "Why didn't he respond? Doesn't he like me?" Then you might start feeling sad. Or if you start thinking, "What's her problem? That's so rude. What's wrong with her?" Then you'll start feeling angry. Or if you just think, "Oh, I guess he didn't notice me," then you may not have much of an emotional response at all. The point is, the situation itself doesn't determine how you feel. The way that you feel depends on the thoughts that you have in response to the situation. This relationship between our thoughts and feelings is often described as the ABC model. So first, at A, we have a situation, sometimes referred to as the activating event. And then at C, we end up with a feeling or consequence. But we're often not aware of the thought or belief at B that links A and C together. And this thought is often referred to as an automatic thought because it arises almost instantly and automatically. And it's this automatic thought that determines the emotion we feel and how strongly we feel it. Now let's look at the situation we just talked about, described in terms of this ABC model. But just as our thoughts affect our feelings, the automatic thought that we have at any given time will depend on our mood and the way that we're feeling. So, if you're already feeling anxious, you're much more likely to have an anxious automatic thought. Or if you're feeling sad, a sad automatic thought. Our thoughts and our moods are usually congruent like this. Because there is such a strong relationship between our thoughts and our feelings, it's helpful to become aware of the thoughts that we're having and to notice how they're affecting our mood. Otherwise, it's so easy to get caught up in vicious cycles where we have some sort of anxious thought because we're feeling anxious, and then this anxious thought makes us feel even more anxious, which then leads to even more anxious thoughts, which leave us feeling more anxious again. Or the same sort of cycle can happen with sadness and lead us into a downward spiral that leaves us feeling depressed. And once these cycles get started, they're very difficult to slow down or reverse. But if we're able to notice our thoughts better and recognize how they're affecting our mood, we can often disrupt these cycles before they get started or have the chance to gather a lot of momentum. And we can expand this model of the relationship between our thoughts and feelings to take in body sensations and behavior as well. We start with a trigger or situation, which can be either something external, something you're doing or something that's being done to you, or it can be something internal, a thought, feeling, or body sensation. And then this trigger or situation generates thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and actions in response. And then these thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and actions generate more thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and actions in relation to each other. Let's look at some examples. Suppose that you're out with a group of people that you don't know that well, and you're a little shy and feeling a bit uncomfortable, and you have the thought, "I wish I had something interesting to talk about." And then when you have this thought, you start feeling a little anxious. And then you do try to say something, but because you're feeling anxious, you stumble over your words a bit. And then you feel embarrassed, and your face turns red. And then you think, "What's wrong with me? I don't even know how to talk to people." And now you feel sad, and you get this feeling in the pit of your stomach. And then you think, "There's no point in even trying anymore." And then you excuse yourself and leave. So you can see how, in this situation, your thoughts, feelings and emotions, body sensations, and actions are all influencing one another, and they initiate a downward spiral that's making the situation more and more difficult to deal with, and in the end leaves you feeling depressed. And now, for a situation in which a body sensation is the initial trigger, let's look at how panic attacks get started. They often begin with an uncomfortable body sensation in your chest. And that leads to the thought, "Am I having a heart attack?" And that thought generates anxiety. And this anxiety leads your heart to start beating faster. And then you start gasping for breath. And then you think, I really am having a heart attack. And you start to panic. And then you start to hyperventilate. And your heart starts beating even faster, generating even more panic. And you think, what if I die? And before you know it, all of these things have interacted together to bring on a full-blown panic attack.